Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Leadership Goals. Today we're going to speak briefly about being the solid one. What does it mean to be the solid one? This person is the one that can lead with balance and with temperance and can execute with balance and with temperance. Execute what? Execute the plan and the vision of the company each day. You must have a place of a safe place, I'll say it like that, to vent your ideas, your creativity, to even if it's just having a notepad and a quiet place. It doesn't have to be a person there, but just having your own set of ideas and making sure that the vision for your life personally lines up with your goals and your dreams and your aspirations as far as what you're doing in the company. I'm basically trying to say, let what you're doing be conducive to your future. If you do not have a vision for your future, you will feel like a slave in a company that you work with or work for. I'm not saying have your own agenda as far as working against the company. Your agenda should work with the company. It should work with what you're trying to accomplish in your long-term goals. We'll speak about that in another segment, but you have to be the solid one. You have to be, as a leader, you have to have the mindset that says, hey, this is not where I lay my hat and that's it, but I have goals outside of where I am right now. What does it mean to also be the solid one? It means that when there is confusion about written policies, you have to be the one to direct the coworker or those that are under you or around you back to the policy book, back to basic policies that were written by the CEO, the current CEO of that company. It's important that we do that because it will help de-escalate a lot of confusion, a lot of pettiness throughout the day, a lot of hidden emotions and the such. When someone wants to fight you, de-escalate it then and now. Do not escalate and carry that weight with you, but de-escalate it then and now. Do not try to meet or match their level of aggression. You have to be the calm one. You have to be the one that has a soft answer so you can turn away that wrath. Okay? And this will swiftly help turn that aggression around, because the person will either be embarrassed or they realize that they're dealing with someone who is solid and balanced emotionally, and they will end up, believe it or not, matching your calmness one way or another. It's also important to remind the coworker that the guidelines of good conduct is already set. So when these guidelines of good conduct are violated, they put themselves in a bad vein as far as with the company, or they misrepresent the company, or they could be up for disciplinary action, which could lead to all the way to termination and removal of the company. It's important to know these things. These are very basic principles, but these are the principles that will help you win. These are the principles that have helped me come home without going to jail. Let's just be real. It has allowed me to keep a job. It has allowed me to have promotions on the job, and to it has also allowed me to have a good light in respect of who I'm working for. I not going to say that every day that I was a supervisor was a good day. I'm not going to say that every day I felt like I won. Some days I felt defeated, but I kept my job and I stayed out of jail. Do you hear me? It's important that we just have good character. So being the solid one means that we can't be shaky. We have to be the peacemaker and not the peace breaker. We also have to know that solidity will help. Solidity is contagious. It will help everyone around you be solid. There was a time where it felt like I was thrown into a higher leadership position. And this particular person that I was working under did not show up for work for a whole week. So me taking the helm, corporate came in. And you know how it is when corporate comes in. I'm talking about the regional managers, the directors, everyone from the DMV area came in, and they had questions for different statistical matters. I had to literally give them an answer. The answer that I gave them as being the solid one was, I'm still learning certain things because I was new to it, but I gave them solid answers. Sometimes, even though the situation might be shaky, you can still give solid answers. So my answers were, sometimes I'm not too sure about this particular matter, but what I can do is, and you have to have a follow-up, what you can do, you have to be the answer. I said a lot of times what we can do is, and then whatever I needed to do for that particular day, as far as with my coworkers, with who was working under me or with me, we did it. Not saying that we hit every T or crossed every I, dotted every T, but we did it. We made sure that corporate did not go home without understanding what we are doing. We had to know what we're doing. We do it every day, but at the same time, a lot of times when corporate come in, the negative connotation is everybody has to be on their P's and Q's, which is good, but let's not create an atmosphere of anxiety, is what I'm trying to say. Let's not create an atmosphere of anxiety, because what will happen is you will have anxious workers. Everyone around you will be anxious, and the work, if you're not careful, can be mishandled. Or the task that's at hand can be mishandled because everyone's focused on shining the boss's shoes, if you will. I'm just going to say that metaphorically, or kind of, just being a little bit open about it. But it's important that I guess the word is hysterical. I'm sorry, it's not coming to me, but you want to make sure you create a safe place. You want to make sure, you can drop this down, you want to make sure you do not create, secondly, an atmosphere of aggression. Thirdly, do not escalate with someone that's trying to create an atmosphere of aggression. Fourthly, remind coworkers of the guidelines through the vision statement and the mission statement of why they're here. I think I'm on the fifth part. Don't be shaky. Be solid as a cobblestone pillar. Pillars don't break under pressure. Do you hear me? Pillars can handle a few earthquakes. I'm talking about actual pillars now, but pillars can provide shelter. I can lean on pillars. Pillars, are able to take up a lot of the strength or the gravitational pull on the building to fall. They hold the building up. You might be in a building right now that you may not even realize that's being held up by a pillar. So we must realize that we have to be solid. We have to be pillars. And also, I'm almost done this particular segment, but as I finish, it's important that we operate as, we may not even be the CEO, but operate as we are. If you are a leader and you see yourself as a leader, you must see yourself in the future. I know it sounds cliche-ish, but you have to see yourself as a CEO or an owner or of some sort, so that when you go into that place, you don't look at yourself or view yourself as lesser. That's how I was able to operate around managers and others, because I had to, and it takes practice, but I had to have the mindset that I am not less. I am not a butler. I'm not a slave. I am there because I'm an answer. You can walk in there knowing that you're just as important as the CEO without having the same type of delegation powers as a CEO. You are important. I'm going to continue to say that throughout this podcast. But I hope and pray that I said something that's going to help you operate as the vision carrier of the business that you work with or work for. And if you are a business owner, it's definitely important that you have your vision statement and your mission statement known throughout the whole building, throughout the whole vicinity. If you're online or if you're remote, it's important that you email or post it on a website that you own. You have to also own the URL of that particular website. You have to, some of you are so good, the codes. But the URL is important, because that gives you key to your own website. Okay, so if you can't afford to buy your own URL, you can I think you can rent it out, which is you pay every month instead of a yearly. I think that's how it goes. If you own your own URL, I think there's an annual fee. A lot of times it's probably like $50 to $100. It all depends on what your need or what your needs are for the business. A landing page will not do if you are operating a business. You need a whole website. A landing page is for those that are getting started, for those SBAs, small business associations. Even if you have an SBA, I would say still have a whole website. And if you are not good in website design, let someone else do it. Let someone else create your website. And I'm gonna be real, the price is around $1,500, but it's worth it. Let someone else build your website and let them critique it, because there's certain colors that are attractive and different contrasts that can help draw your audience to your business that you might not have skills in, and that's okay. It's important that you even be solid in your mindset, saying, okay, I can't do this, but I know who can. When I'm putting together this podcast, I said I can't do jingles, so I have to get someone who can. Shout out to Sarah Mia. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Sarah Mia, she is the one that did my jingle. I said to myself, I have an ability to sing, but I can't sing that well, and I had to be okay with that. I didn't have the necessary equipment, so I got someone to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? I got someone to do that part to help draw in my audience. But you have to be okay with that. Sometimes I'm telling you, I've had projects in the past where I was not okay with that and it failed. But now I'm at a place where I know who I am. I'm secure in who I am, and I know my strengths and abilities, and I know my weaknesses, and I know my gifts and talents. And it's okay if you don't have that gift or talent, but you know someone who does. Fiverr is a really good website. I think it's Fiverr. They can help you as far as outsourcing. Not workers per se, but people that can help you build your business brand. People that can help you become the best part of you. These are not, you cannot look at them as outsourced people, but you have to look at them as partners because they're helping you at I guess a level. Excuse me. You have to look at everyone starting off as equal ground, and then as God gives you the vision, or as you become creative with what you have and you have ideas, then you put people in place. But you have to be the solid one. I can't stress that enough. You be the solid one. Okay. I hope that I said something that's going to help you in your goals for 2022, for this year to be the best year in your life. I am going to be as open as I can and not hypocritical. I'm going to make sure that I say things that I had to learn from, so that that I'm not just speaking out of the air, but I have a lot of experience in business, dealing with business. I went to school for business administration, and I'm looking at my year every day as far as how I'm going to do things in my podcast and everything like that. I also have another podcast called Padaway Evangelistic Ministries. That's solely for spiritual guidance in the Lord. But I will make sure that this particular side, we talk about business. We're going to talk about the business of church one of these days. We're going to talk about different experiences that I've had in the business of church, but we're not going to really speak on, the spiritual matters that I speak on my other podcasts. Okay, I hope and pray that I said something that's going to help you in your goals. Again, get your vision board, or however you do it, your vision pad. The way that I do it is I have to think it out first. And then as I think it out, like my vision board is continual. And what I mean by that is every week I write a new goal. And it's not like I plan it out. You know what I'm saying? Like it just happens. And I look at the goals that I'm already doing, and I'll say, okay, can I really, really get this done in 2022? If I can't, I'll put it on a back burner for right now. And then, I will pray about it. I'll talk to God about it, and then we'll go from there. But I had to learn how to not also overload myself, but I had to learn how to prioritize. Even in your goals, prioritize. It could be, I heard someone say before, I think T.D. Jakes said it. He said that you can have a really good idea and it could sound really good, but it may not be for you. It may not be for where you are right now. And that's okay. That's all right. But just know that you have to be the solid one. I can't stress that enough. And you are the one that's going to be successful in every goal. You have to put it out there. Some say in the universe, I say in the atmosphere. Put it out there in the atmosphere to combat one negative thing. You got to say it. I've heard you have to say at least 5 times, just to say it over and over and over again. I will be successful this year. This is my year. Even though things might not be looking good right now, I'm the solid one. I'm the one that's going to rise above circumstances. I'm going to rise above this stuff that's going on in the world with the whole pandemic and everything like that. You have to be the solid one. Have that positive mindset, and do not always buckle under pressure. Handle the pressure, take care of it, and get it out. Get it out the best way, in a healthy way. Have healthy outlets. And I think that's it for this particular podcast. Thank you. And know that you have leadership. Yes, leadership goals. Talk to you soon.